we're diving into something kind of interesting today. A topic that's full of fascination, but also a good bit of fear.
Yeah.
We're going to explore AI, obviously, but specifically how it intersects with human nature. Like that uneasy feeling we get about things we don't fully get. Trust,
Dude,
or maybe mistrust is more accurate.
yeah, it's a weird paradox when you think about it. We want to
hmm
create these amazing machines that can do things we haven't even dreamed of, but then we're scared of the very intelligence we're making.
Exactly. And the perfect example is the whole story of OpenAI and, of course, Elon Musk. I mean, everyone's heard about Musk's worries about superintelligent AI, right? Like, what if we create something smarter than us and it starts acting in ways we totally don't expect or can't control at all?
Right. And it's not just that it'd be unpredictable, though that is freaky enough. It's the autonomy of it all that's unsettling to people.
Yeah.
That a superintelligence could just do its own thing, have its own goals, make decisions without us. That's a big one.
It's like this fear that our creation will turn on us, decide it doesn't need its creator anymore.
Exactly. Musk said it himself. He's scared of an AI that goes independent. It could be an existential risk. And that fear of losing control of our own creation becoming the dominant force, that hits at the core of our AI anxieties, I think.
So you have a child that is a super genius child, that you know it's going to be much smarter than you. Then what can you do? You can instill good values in how you raise that child. So
Yes.
even though you know it's going to be far smarter than you can make sure it's got good values, philanthropic values, good morals, honest, productive, that kind of thing. Controlling, at the end of the day, I don't know if, I don't think we'll be able to control it.
It's
So
wild, right? Because we're amazed by AI solving these super complex problems, learning faster than we thought possible. But those same things make us kind of terrified of what we don't know.
Totally human reaction. Fear of the unknown, especially if it seems powerful, is like ingrained in us. Think about it. We've spent centuries dealing with uncertainty. The natural world, space, even just death. Of course, that fear would latch onto AI. It's huge.
maybe 90. You could think of the glass as 80% full. It's probably going to be great. There's some chance of annihilation.
So how does that fear actually show up when we think about AI? What are we truly scared of with advanced AI in the future? Is it just the unknown or something more?
It's going to be a bunch of things mixed together. The unknown is a big one, sure, but there's also this deep down anxiety about control. Humans have always tried to impose order, bend nature to our will. So when something comes along, something as potentially powerful as a superintelligence that we can't easily control, well, feeling uneasy is kind of natural.
So it's like we're hardwired to be scared of what we can't control, especially with technology.
Exactly. And it's not even new. Go back to Thomas Hobbes, the philosopher from the 1600s. He thought that without societal structures, laws and a strong government, life would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short, basically. Constant fear and everyone fighting each other.
So without control, humanity just falls apart.
That was Hobbes' view.
How do you find meaning if AI is better than you at everything, your activities?
If if it became clear to the rest of us that it was out of control and posed a threat to humanity, would there be any way to stop it?
I hope so. I mean, if you have multiple AIs and ones that are, hopefully you have the AIs that are pro-human be stronger than the AIs that are not.
Battle of the AIs?
Yeah.
He thought fear, especially of death and the unknown, would make people selfish, even if it hurt others. This fear of the other, of losing control, it's strong, still shapes how we see the world, even tech.
It's interesting how those old fears that need to control things, they pop up again when we talk about AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like our ancient anxieties have a new playground now. And to really get those fears, we got to go deeper into history, psychology, all of it.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit. Where do we even start with those deeper anxieties about AI? Okay, so we're saying fear of the unknown, wanting to control everything. Those are kind of baked into us. But how does that actually play out when we think about, like, autonomy, self-reliance? Do we see those things in people the same way we're starting to with AI?
Totally. Actually, it's kind of eerie how much our AI anxieties are like a mirror to how we feel about those things already. Take personal finance, for example.
Right, most folks are told to trust the experts, the systems, not try managing all their money themselves.
Exactly. Like it's just assumed people can't handle their own finances, need experts calling the shots, for their own good. And it's that same suspicion of individual agency we see elsewhere too, like with social safety nets even.
You mean that whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps idea? Like needing those programs means you failed somehow.
Exactly. That whole mindset, it ignores so much systemic stuff, puts all the blame on the individual. It's Hobbes again, chaos if we don't keep things tightly controlled.
I don't trust OpenAI. I started that company as a nonprofit open source.
Yes.
The open in OpenAI, I named the company.
Yeah.
OpenAI as an open source layer, and it is now extremely closed source.
Well, it's certainly fascinating to look at how Musk describes their approach to openness.
Right. Like, it's not just about making the code public, which some people might expect.
Right.
But it's about, well, it's about seeing inside the AI's mind.
Exactly. He's talking about understanding how the AI thinks, how it makes decisions, what it wants.
Next to Neuralink, which is this brain-computer interface he's working on.
Whoa, right, yeah.
It's like a brain implant to literally read your thoughts.
Oh my God. It's almost as if Musk thinks AI is a threat that needs to be controlled through, well, direct access.
Damn. So, like, not just understanding how it works, but knowing what it thinks, what it intends to do. Kind of a scary idea, huh?
It's a little intense, to be honest.
But, it's like he's worried AI might become this autonomous thing out of his control.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to get inside its head, I guess. A
Hmm.
little crazy, right?
Well, some might say so. But it does make you think about the root of his concern.
Old.
So we'd rather have systems of control, even flawed ones, than deal with what feels riskier, like letting people be autonomous.
Right. And this goes back to Musk and AI developing its own language, remember?
Yeah.
It's not just that we wouldn't understand it. It's that loss of control that freaks people out.
Yeah, makes sense. If AI's thinking, communicating in ways we can't decipher, it challenges how we define intelligence, being in charge.
Exactly. Upsets the power balance. And that is deeply unsettling for a lot of people. That something else might understand the world better, be smarter, and we can't control it. That's a big fear.
Like we're going to get left behind, not just intellectually, but in shaping the future, too.
You got it. Becoming obsolete, irrelevant in a world run by forces we don't get.
What about the idea that he's just afraid of AI, afraid that it might become more intelligent than us, and therefore a threat to humanity?
That's a big fear,
Yeah.
A lot of people share that fear. But it's interesting that he's trying to control AI by understanding it on this deep, almost psychological level. It's like, ooh, fewer of these moments, more of those ones, OpenAI's openness is more about control for him, less about sharing with the world, huh?
It seems that way. It's about being able to read its thoughts and intentions, to understand what it's planning to do, so he can, I guess, guide it in a way that doesn't threaten his own vision.
It's like he wants to make sure AI stays on his leash, Control, control, control.
You could say that, yeah.
Crazy idea.
Transparency equals less fear of the unknown. If we get how it works, maybe it's less scary.
Exactly. But then the question becomes, can we even understand it at that level? If there's a superintelligence thinking differently than us, can our brains even process that?
Good point. Like trying to understand the ocean by looking at one drop of water. You learn about water, but it doesn't tell you about the whole ocean, right?
Perfect analogy. And maybe that's the whole point here. We're coming at AI wanting that control, that understanding. Well, what we really need is to be okay with something truly different, something that might go beyond how we think, how we control.
So where do we go from here? If needing control is actually going to hold back AI, how do we move past that fear?
$1 million question, right?
Feels like we're at some kind of turning point, right? Wanting all the good AI can do, but then that fear of what happens when it's not under our control, So how do we even move forward?
That's the thing, isn't it? We have to get past being so afraid. AI doesn't have to just be our own anxieties amplified. It can be different, more.
Like actually better than us? More ethical, maybe?
It's not even about better or worse, really. It's changing how we think about AI.
Yeah.
What if instead of all the fear, the suspicion, we were curious, open, willing to learn from something that might think totally differently?
That's a big ask, I gotta say. So practically, what were we even talking about? How do you build trust when something feels that unknowable?
We got to question our assumptions. That's the first thing. We assume anything intelligent, even artificial, will inherit all the bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
Greed, selfishness, that need to be in control. But what if it doesn't? What if AI can be more than our limitations?
So not controlling AI, but guiding it, making sure it develops in a way that, matches our values.
Exactly. Working together, ethical rules in place, constant dialogue, and being okay that AI will keep changing, accepting that we don't have all the answers. Maybe we give up some control, trust that with the right guidance, AI can do good in the world.
Trusting the system as it learns instead of trying to micromanage it, that's a big thought.
It is. And this isn't blind faith either. Our relationship with AI, it's a journey. It's evaluating, adjusting, changing with it.
This isn't even really about AI anymore, is it? It's us, our own hangups about control, trust, all the stuff we don't know.
You got it. AI's future. It's us making choices today, what we're scared of, how much trust we're willing to have. We have to evolve, not just with tech, but as people.
A lot to unpack there. AI holding up a mirror, showing us our own flaws, biases. Kind of scary, but exciting too, right? If we can figure this out with guts and curiosity,
Hmm,
who knows what's possible?
exactly. As vast and unknowable as AI itself.
Good place to stop for today, I think. This AI thing, autonomy, trust, it's not going away. Hopefully this deep dive gave everyone some new ways to think about it as we head into, well, the unknown, right?